Welcome back to No Bias Hoops. Today we're talking about the NBA playoffs and who I think is going to win the championship. The first series is the OKC Thunder versus the Memphis Grizzlies. The OKC Thunder have been the best team all year. You might say Cleveland, but OKC has been the best team. They're the deepest by far. Their 10th and 11th man could be a rotational player on almost any playoff team right now. Their 6th and 7th man could be a starter for any team right now. They have some of the best players in basketball. They have the best player in basketball in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. They beat the Grizzlies by 50 points game 1. The series is already over. There's nothing that Memphis could do to stop this. Even if two of OKC's best players got injured, they could still win this series. That's how good they are. Statistically and just talent-wise, the OKC Thunder will win the championship this year. Now, they're really young, and injuries could happen. Chet's been pretty injury-prone in his career already, so you never know. But if there was no such thing as injuries and everyone was just going to play as good as they are, the OKC Thunder will win the championship, and that's why they're my championship pick. The second series is the Houston Rockets versus the Golden State Warriors. This series has already been super entertaining. The Warriors did win by quite a bit in Game 1, but the Rockets were definitely in the game. These are some of the best defensive teams in basketball right now. Since the Warriors got Jimmy Butler, they've been top 10. The Rockets have been top 10 all year. You have Draymond Green on the Warriors, who's a Defensive Player of the Year candidate. However, I don't really think he deserves it. Alperen Sengun was playing really well against him, and yes, he definitely was a huge factor in their defense, but I don't think he really deserves the award. I think he's a little bit overrated, but Draymond Green is definitely a really good defender this year. Alperen Sengun is probably the most underrated player in basketball. He's like Jokic, but faster, and he can score a little easier, because Jokic is the smartest player in basketball. He's an MVP candidate. He's been great, and he is an elite scorer. But Sengun is really, 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 really good. They have Jalen Green. They have a lot of depth. Amen Thompson played really well. And I think that the Rockets have a chance to win this series, but I'm still going to pick the Warriors. Steph Curry has not lost a first-round playoff series since 2013, and he is elite. He takes shots that you're just like, don't take that, and then it goes in no matter what. And he can take control of the game, so can Jimmy Butler, and the Rockets just don't have a player that can do that. So I think the Warriors will probably win in 5 or 6, but the Rockets could win this series. The 3-seed game is the Lakers versus Timberwolves. Timberwolves won the first game, and you know what Nico Harrison says? Defense wins championships, and that could be true. Not saying the Luka trade was good, but the Dallas Mavericks easily won that game, and Luka Doncic and LeBron look really good. They're two of the most dominant players in all of basketball, but I think the Timberwolves are going to win this series. The Lakers do not have a good enough center. They do not have good enough defense. And when it comes down to it, Anthony Edwards can take control of the game just as much as Luka and LeBron. Rudy Gobert is the most underrated defender in basketball. Everyone is always dogging on him, but this is the best defensive rating he's had in his whole career, and he's not even in the conversation for DPOY, which is just insane. You can say what you want about him, but the Timberwolves, I think, are going to win this series in 6. The reason why is they're so much more versatile. The Lakers really just have scores. They have 3 more guard type scorers, LeBron, Luka, Austin Reeves, that can control a game, but they're not the best defenders. LeBron is a lot older, and he's not that athlete that he used to be. He's still really, really good. Luka, definitely not a great defender. Austin Reeves is solid, but he's just your average defender. They don't have someone who's an elite defender. Dorian Finney-Smith is pretty good. Jared Vanderbilt is pretty good, but I just don't think they have what it takes to beat the Timberwolves, so I'm picking the Timberwolves. The 4-5 seed is going to be the best series in the playoffs. The Nuggets won game 1 against the Clippers in overtime, and the Clippers won game 2 by 2 points. The series is tied 1-1. They've been going at it. Yesterday, we saw Kawhi Leonard looking like prime Kawhi Leonard, and him and James Harden were just hitting absolutely insane shots. You also see the greatness of Jokic still. He's playing amazing, and I just really don't think that the Nuggets have good enough depth around Jokic this year to be a contender. I think that the Clippers are going to win this series if Kawhi Leonard and James Harden don't get injured and if they continue to play like this. Based on how the players are playing right now, the Clippers are the better team. They have more depth. Chris Dunn is an elite defender. Norman Powell is having the best season of his career, and he's like 31. The team is super old. I don't think they have a chance at the championship because what are the odds that Kawhi Leonard, James Harden, Norman Powell don't get injured by the time we get to the championship? And also, I don't want to bet against Jokic. Like, I do think that Jokic can just control a game. He makes all of his teammates better. So, the Nuggets, this game is, I think it's going to Game 7 no matter what, but I'm going to pick the Clippers. The Nuggets could easily win this one too. In the East, you got the Celtics versus the Magic. That's the 2-7. I'll talk about Cleveland later. I think this series goes to 5 or 6, but the Celtics are going to win. Orlando put up a good fight in the first half of Game 1, but they just lost it in the second half. Celtics are way better and will probably go to the Eastern Conference Finals. Game 1, you have, 1 seed versus 8 seed is Cavs versus Heat. The Cavs are winning. Heat put up an okay fight, but Cavs ultimately won by around 20. They have been the best team in the Eastern Conference by far, and Donovan Mitchell is having a career year. The Cavs will probably waltz past the series, but I do think they're going to have a serious threat from the 4 and 5 seed. 3 versus 6 is Milwaukee versus Pacers, and I think Indiana wins this game. They won game 1 by a lot. They are way deeper than Milwaukee, and Milwaukee, Dame is not what he used to be. They're really relying on Giannis, and the Pacers figured out that basically if he gets in the paint, they can just foul him, and he will miss most of his free throws. Tyrese Halliburton is one of the most underrated players, as well as Pascal Siakam. They have so much depth, so much three-point shooting, and a lot of defense. The Pacers are going to win this, and they're going to be a serious threat to Boston in the second round. The 4 seed versus 5 seed is very interesting. That is the Pistons versus the Knicks. And I think I said that wrong. I think this is actually the 3 seed versus 6 seed. Bucks Pacers is 4 and 5. So sorry about that. But the Knicks and Pistons is the second best series. It's tied 1-1 right now. The Pistons won yesterday, and they put on a show. That was one of the coolest playoff games. The Knicks had a chance to come back. They were within 3 in the last minute, but ultimately Jalen Brunson missed a few shots. And this Pistons team is young, but they're not that young. They have Tobias Harris, Malik Beasley. All the vets they brought in to support this young core have been incredible. Cade Cunningham has blossomed into a superstar, and I think the Knicks still win this game. They have more depth. They have Jalen Brunson, who is just better than Cade Cunningham. But this is going to be an extremely interesting series. I think it goes to 6 or 7, but I'm choosing the Knicks here. I'll talk about the second round in a different video, but like and subscribe. Let me know what you think about the playoffs, and see you next time on No Bias Hoops.